What is the first thing you answer when somebody says to you, tell me about yourself? Do you also say what you do when somebody asks you who you are? Now, one of the things that I see the most in career change processes is attachment. Attachment to what I did before, to my profession, to my university degree, to my years of experience, to the company I work for or I used to work for. Now, the problem with this is that it is that attachment to that identity that actually doesn't allow us to open up and to make new ways for what we really can offer as individuals and with our profile. So somehow it stops us from building a way to professional evolution. Now, in my previous videos, I have explained to you what are the neurological levels where belief system operates, and we saw how identity is the system that actually blocks or drives the most our objectives, obviously depending on how you have it configured. If you haven't seen any of this, I invite you to watch episode 3 or 4, in which we talk a lot about limiting beliefs and identity. Now, in this video, we're going to see some specific examples on how attachment to identity can stop our goals or any change or any professional growth goals that we have. So now you know how it works. Stay until the end and don't forget to subscribe to continue receiving this information that is super powerful to program your subconscious mind for success. So let's get to what we're here for. How does the attachment to personal identity work? Well, the first and most important thing is to understand how we define ourselves. In my case, for instance, for those of you who do not know me yet, I studied economics, then I did a master's degree in international marketing, and then I did an MBA in entrepreneurship. However, and as much as it hurts to say sometimes, and that's actually when attachment comes into play, my professional and my current identity are not defined by any of these diplomas. I do not define myself today as economist, nor as a business administrator, and neither as a marketer. Firstly, because I reinvented my career and today my profession is coaching and professional training. Now, these studies allow me to build a foundation, skills foundation, experiences, networking, and a great perspective that had led me to my reinvention path. But if I had let myself be carried away by the identity and the attachment to these diplomas, I wouldn't have been able to achieve that change. Why? Because how do we build a new professional path? How do you get a new promotion? How do you create a new business? How do you set yourself as an independent? How do you change sector or industry? If you're still mentally and emotionally identified with what you've been doing in the past. Your mind has to take the leap long before the change materializes in reality. It doesn't happen before. Now, for this reason, many people who, for instance, they win the lottery, they lose everything or most of it in weeks or days because mentally they hadn't made the change of identity or the habits to identify themselves with somebody who has more financial abundance. It also happens a lot with children or relatives that are promoted in a company for which they were not prepared for. They get that position, but mentally they were not there. And that causes a lot of financial disasters in family business. Now, I'm lucky to support many processes of professional change and also massive layoff. And this experience, something that I have lived very closely, I have seen very fast or very slow process of evolution. And this has allowed me to understand one thing, that the speed and the stability of a professional change depend on the person's ability to close that page, to grieve, and to build a new identity. So how do you turn that page? Well, first, it's important to separate your profile from the company. Every professional experience, both good and bad, leaves us with very valuable things. So my recommendation is that you create some sort of map of what you've done, your experiences, your story, and that you extract the most important achievements, separating what you did, what was your role, what were your actions, and what were your results, so that you separate your profile and your skills from that environment, that position, and that specific company. This will help you realize what you can do, what you have to offer, and who you really are. And second, understand that there's no such thing as time wasted or bad luck. Absolutely everything we do in life has a meaning, has a why. And sometimes that why is obvious. Sometimes we don't see it until actually time passes and we connect the dots. And that's why we finally say, thank God I didn't get that job, or thank God they fired me at that time, or even thank God that business didn't do well. Because all these things, most of the time we see them in time. So that's why today is really important that if you're going through a process of change, or reinvention, or professional evolution, do not wait until the time passes to realize that what is happening to you right now is exactly the best thing for you. And that all the experiences that you lived in the past, whether they were good or bad, you needed them to become who you are today. And last but not least, practice gratitude. It is essential to be grateful for the moments and experiences and the skills we have learned. There's nothing more exponential when manifesting change than knowing how to be grateful. However, what works best is to thank and let go. The practice of gratitude is a practice of awareness, recognition, and acceptance. But it is super important that you do not stay attached to something or to someone or to a position or a company or even to a profession just because you appreciate that this thing has given you all the things that you have in life. We have to learn to give thanks and to let go. It's over, it's done, it doesn't define you. Be thankful for everything that you have so far, but stay open to new resources. That's what actually makes the practice of gratitude truly exponential. And finally, if you have seen in my previous videos, and I think you're getting the pattern that I'm getting into, observe and change your linguistic patterns. Remember that words, they reflect your thoughts and they reveal the beliefs and the blocks that you have that are the most profound. So when somebody asks you what do you do and you answer with your university title or with the company you work for, you're not truly doing the real authentic work. If your goal is to turn the page, to reinvent yourself or to program yourself for success, then look at how you research to yourself and at your professional identity and change it if it's necessary. Sometimes it's better to say, I am whatever your name, and in this moment I'm exploring new opportunities, I'm reinventing myself, before to actually referring to something that you are no longer are or where you no longer belong. So remember to thank and let go. But above everything, create the necessary belief parameters to prepare your change and to prepare you to keep growing successfully. I send you a big kiss and I'll be seeing you in another video.